Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Language Facilitation Coaching and Q&A. My name is Marci Melzer. I'm an intuitive, a speech language pathologist, and a language facilitation coach and consultant. And my platform, wavesofcommunication.com, is designed to equip and empower parents and caregivers all over the world to teach the late talkers in your life how to share their wisdom with the world using spoken language, real speech. And today, as usual, I have a topic to talk about with you. It is this one. It's called breakdown. And we're going to be talking about, on this video, I have 5 tips for you when you are feeling this, when you're feeling breakdown, when you're feeling like you don't know what to do, where what you've been doing isn't working anymore, where you really thought you were on the right track, but suddenly it isn't working. Now, for those of you who follow my energy focus videos, and even those of you who don't, maybe you might be interested because there's a lot going on right now astrologically and in the energy all around us that might be causing people to feel this idea of breakdown. And when you feel breakdown, it's like you're done. I can't do it anymore. I just can't. I know I should. I know what I need to. I know whatever. And the truth is, you really don't. You don't know what to do because it's broken down. And it's a surprise. Breakdowns are always a surprise. Even if they happen over a long period of time, stretches of long nights and lots of triggering over and over things, tons of activity, traveling, health issues, all these things, maybe over time, could be a bunch of them all happening at the same time. For parents, especially if you're managing your household and your kids, if you're working too, there's so much going on just in the lives of parents. I know that breakdown happens, and right now there's lots of opportunity to learn through these moments of breakdown, and that's what we're going to be doing today. Is I'm going to be giving you these 5 tips to join me. So, as always, I just want to remind you that this is Q&A. So you are welcome to join me both in the discussion to talk about your breakdown or what is breaking down in your world. That's usually why people send me questions on their Q&A, is they let me know that some specific thing. I just did a video yesterday. The mom was worried because she's got to go out of town for a couple days, and her late talker freaks out if she leaves the room, let alone the house, let alone for 3 nights. And we talked about what to do about that. Maybe those kinds of things. It depends on your life. Everybody's life is different. So if you have a question, in the comment section is the greatest place to put that. And so as we get into these, I just want to welcome anybody who's joining me live, and also welcome back all of my subscribers. You know I love you. You know I'm sending out all my information to you. And I just want to send a little, let you know. You can support me by subscribing and liking this video. That's all you really got to do. There's a little heart with a $sign in it. You can visit, you can do the super chats, all that stuff, but that's not nearly as helpful as liking and commenting and just participating here. Now, I am 99 away from 4,000 subscribers. And every time you hit a milestone like that, YouTube helps share your videos a little bit more. And I'm not a typical clickbaity kind of YouTuber, so I really appreciate all your support. So please like this video and share the ideas and share your comments and just engage with it. That's the best thing. Okay, let's get into our tips. Thanks for letting me do my little PR thing there. Breakdown, when it happens, the main thing is to take care of yourself first. It's like when you ride on an airplane and they always instruct you to put the oxygen mask on yourself first before you help your child. You can't help your child if you are incapacitated. And when breakdown happens, that's how you feel. It might be a feeling of oxygen deprivation or high blood pressure or overwhelm or exhaustion or annoyance or anxiety, or any of those things could be triggered by overwhelm and breakdown. So take care of yourself first. You can't take care of anybody else until you take care of you. So the deal here is that you need to make sure that you are considering, because you spend all your time considering other people. You consider the child, you consider your partner, you consider the house, you consider physical things, you consider the dog before you consider yourself. And it's time. Breakdown is your reminder that you have neglected to consider yourself first and foremost. I know it's not in your habit. I know it's not what you think your job is, even as the mom and caregiver, dad and caregiver, language facilitator, boss, member. If you're a teacher, you're in charge of a whole classroom. Breakdown happens to everybody. And the thing is, you have to recover yourself before you can do anything else. And you can't even do any of the other things that you want to do for yourself good if you don't take care of yourself. So, your physical environment, your physical body. This is when you listen to your physical body. If you are hungry, eat. If you are tired, rest. Sit down. If your feet hurt, don't ignore these symptoms. Physical symptoms are important. Don't ignore them. Environment. If something is annoying you, don't ignore it. Take care of it. Emotional needs. Make sure you take care of all these things. And your child will learn from your self-care habits, because ultimately we need them to take care of themselves. And so you're not so overwhelmed and broken down. Okay. So number one is make sure when you're feeling breakdown, if you feel it coming on or if it already happens, it doesn't matter. Stop and take care of yourself first. Stop taking care of others. Okay. Once you do that, you need to use the tools, or maybe even at the same time, while you are taking care of yourself, you have to use the tools you have now to create space for recovery. I know you don't want to put your kid in front of the video. I know you don't want to give them cereal for dinner, but you have to give yourself permission during breakdown to do these things. You have to let them be happy for a moment on their own. And again, they will learn over time that when they observe you breaking down, that they will go to these tools, right? And that's why I said you have tools now. If you've got cereal in the fridge, if you've got a phone to order the pizza, if you've got a whatever, so you don't have to cook. If you've got someone you can call to take your kids for a minute so you can have a break. These are the things that are super, super important for you to empower yourself to do. You have tools. Use them. When the car breaks down, you can't make it happen, move again, without using your tools. And to get through the breakdown, it's important that you use the tools that you have, okay? Now, let's move on to number 3. Where you're going to do this, you're going to evaluate what's breaking down regularly. Once you are resting and you're thinking about it and you're in recovery mode, you're still in recovery mode, you're feeling your wounds, right? You're sitting in the hot bath, finally realizing, man, did I really need this? I didn't realize how many of my muscles were achy, and how when you're eating the food, you realize, man, I didn't realize how little I had been eating, or how crummy food I have been eating, when you finally take the time to cook a decent meal for yourself, right? These are the things, right? When you take care of yourself, evaluate what's been breaking down, because now you're like, man, this shouldn't feel like a treat. This is self-care. This is self-care, everybody. And it's necessary. It's necessary. We're going to talk about why it's so necessary as we move forward. But at this point, you have to kind of realize what you're missing, what you have been missing, how you got here. How did you get so broken that you're starving for thing? And it's because you realize that you've been depriving yourself, because you've been prioritizing other people over yourself for so long that you yourself became too depleted. And then it breaks down, and then everything you do breaks down. Like I said, you're not equipped, you're broken down. You can't function at your best when you're broken down. That's for sure. Okay. So, all right, let's see where we're talking about here. What you want to do is, again, review this and previous and other areas of your life, because as you're laying in the bath, you can think about how hungry you are and other things that you've been depriving yourself from. Okay. And why? Why are you depriving yourself from these things? This is really a big deal. This is where you really need to get your mindset straight, everybody, because there's no reason to deprive yourself of things that are basic necessities. And you know what? We all do it though. I was just listening to a podcast and somebody else was talking about the fact that she is a anorexic with her beauty products and foods. Like she'll buy expensive salad dressing or perfume or skincare products or something like that, and they sit on the shelf and literally get dusty before she uses them. I'm guilty. That's why I'm thinking about it, because I feel like I've got to, I'm going to run out of it or I'm not going to have enough. Use it. I'm telling you what, use the stuff. Drink the drink, eat the food, eat the sweets. Yeah, you're not going to eat a whole cake. Think about it. You've been depriving yourself, and that's when you eat a whole cake is because you deprived yourself for so long. Figure out, we're going to talk about it. That's what we're going to do. How to move it forward, right? It makes sense. But when you understand what you've been depriving yourself, it's very important that you take this step to realize, am I in the habit of literally consistently depriving myself? And why? Why? That's your own mindset. That's your upbringing. That's your focus on things. That's your value in those objects and the value in yourself. You value those objects and things that you're not using or taking advantage of more than you value your own sanity and health and wellness that you're not breaking down. Okay? And that's crazy. When you think about that, we're doing it, right? We all do it. We prioritize the wrong things. And you can figure out how to get the right things in your priority again when you take a moment. But first, you got to take care of yourself and relax. And then this is it. We got to figure out what's going on. All right. And then the next thing you do is empower everyone around you, because you're the example. You start with yourself and make self-care habitual. That's it. Everyone around you, because you're doing it. Remember, your late talker is going to learn when mom's at her breakdown stage. They know what it looks like. They see it. When they see it happening, if everybody's talking about it, you just say, look, the flashing lights go, the ambulance comes, you go, I'm having a moment. I need it. I need a break right now. And so when they see you taking advantage of your power to direct everybody to leave you alone or give you what you need or help you out in the way you need to be helped so that you're cared for just as much as the people you care for. It doesn't always have to be 50-50. I get it. You give a lot more, probably 90-10. But let's try to move it a little bit more. 10's not enough. Whatever you're getting, if you're breaking down, if you're watching this video, it's not enough. It's just not enough for you. So you need more self-care. And so you got to take it. You got to do it. So you might set the example, and then you use these recovery experiences. Like I said, you're starving, so you buy a whole cake. Now you think future. Okay, maybe I don't need a whole cake. But how can I figure out how to put a little bit of cake in my life every day? Even if it's not cake, if it's something cookie, some little something. I usually call that my little cake every day because I'm a dessert fiend. And I taught myself how to not need to clean my plate, to finish it all, to do it. And I live by myself. I buy a whole cake, I'm going to eat the whole thing. I had to find ways to buy smaller portions or people to give it to or things like that. You can find ways to move forward so that you can get what you want and what you need every single day. And you just want to empower everybody around you to do that. Remind them when they are depriving themselves. If you see your child self-depriving themselves from fun, find out why it's happening and let them know it's okay. And when they are struggling and breaking down, you see it, the meltdowns, What do? You help them first. That's your instinct, is to give them self-care, is to give them care, give them what they love so they feel better. At least feel better for a moment until we can process why we felt bad in the first place. Okay? And again, you want to use the recovery experiences. What worked when tempers were flaring that made you feel good? That's what you want to get into your everyday. Not a whole bunch of it, but a little bit of it. And that's how we're going to move forward, is that you're going to schedule self-care habits. Got my Mercury retrogrades really kicking in. So yeah, you're going to schedule these self-care habits in a way that you always can experience them. In fact, you even look forward to them, because breakdowns happen all the time. Surprises, and sometimes, they're always surprises. They're always surprises. If you knew you were going to break down, you would have prepared for it. Something broke. And sometimes it's behind the scenes. Sometimes it's under the hood. Sometimes you don't even know. It's usually a surprise. But if you schedule regular self-care into your itinerary, then you have fewer breakdowns, right? Just like you maintain your car, just like you maintain your house, just like you keep the place clean. If you don't clean on a regular basis, then you got a tsunami to clean up after a while, right? Regular habits that care for everything and everyone. Just like you said, your beauty products, you're using them or not using them. Why did you buy them in the first place, right? Put it on a schedule that you intend to use it, and then look forward to it. I can't wait to use my beauty product. I get to do it every day. I give this to myself. Schedule your snack. Schedule your fun time. Schedule your alone time. Just like you let your kids schedule their video time every day. Don't use their fun time to do more work. Use their fun time to have fun time. If you don't need fun time together, that's what a lot of partners do. People in relationships, partners, kids, parents, people at coworkers. You don't hang out 24/7 with your boss. They trust that you can take care of yourselves and get things done. Just like your kids trust you to take care of them and get things done. They don't consider you taking care of yourself until you break down and they see that you haven't been. Because remember, you're projecting as, I'm the caregiver. I'm the one that cares for everyone. I care. Until you can't anymore when you break down, right? So scheduling regular self-care every day is really important to keep your mindset strong, so that anytime you get triggered by breakdown, you know what to do, or at least you figure it out. You have something in you to figure it out, because the old analogy of your bucket is full. At least you got something in there for yourself, so that you can get your mind around it. But when you're exhausted and frustrated and overwhelmed, which is a prime environment for breakdown. I mean, think about your car. Unmaintained, poor gas, poor parts, never cleaned, never washed, never loved. It's going to start to act funny and use more gas and make noises, right? Everything breaks down, sometimes slowly. And you know what? Usually there are signs that breakdown is coming. And we're all super good at ignoring them. Super good. And that's why self-awareness is what's going to happen and help you. Now, if you are a language facilitator and you are experiencing some breakdown right now with your language facilitation journey, it's happening with a mom that's in my program right now. Hi, Lisa. Nice to see you. I usually talk to you in our private meetings, but today I'm going to call you out because she's sending me some amazing video of her doing some amazing language models with her late talker. Now, her late talker's older, old enough to be able to say a lot of things, but he doesn't use language regularly. He has been using a lot of echolalia and just sort of practice speech and projection speech and self-talk, a lot of that for months now. Now, it started with just jargon and then it turned into self-talk, and now it really is intentionally where he's saying things hoping that people will respond to him and help him learn and work with all of this projection. All of his projections are coming very intentional and meaningful to the right people, the right places at the right time. They're not the right words yet. And Lisa's doing a lot of her everyday modeling, because remember, this late talker's moving through phases where he was completely nonverbal, saying words but nonverbal, then verbal without intention, now verbal with intention but not proper meaning, and he's stuck. She sees that he has the capability to use real needs-based language, but he's not doing it yet. And when we look at that in the levels of expression, he's stuck here at this level 3, below the line, because he's parroting, he's just listening and saying words and seeing what people do. It's testing. What are they going to do when I say this? What are they going to do when I say this? What are they going to do when I say this? Because his family is paying such close attention to his verbal output and analyzing, what does it mean? What's the intention behind it? That's what language facilitation is. That's how they have gotten, in just a few months, from complete nonverbal screaming, no words at all, to this real purposeful sentences. I like this, and you like this, and all of these kinds of really nice phrases. He's been singing whole songs for months, but it's not intentional and directed. It's been practiced self-talk up until now. And then remember this guideline. This is in the workbook, everybody. This is it. The language facilitation journey to shift behavior into speaking. By the way, it's coming out in India very, very soon. Within the next week, you're going to be able to get this on Amazon.in in paperback. So stay tuned. Anyway, back to this. You're going to be there. I'm so excited about it. But the Mercury retrograde's got things going and revising and going and revising. But I'm plowing forward because this is a revision. I've already got the book out. It's the first chance that I've got to be able to get it out in print for everybody out there watching in India, so that you can take advantage this summer while your kids are off. You've got it available. You're going to be able to get it in your hot little hands. Woo! So excited. And then the next one's going to be this. That's going to be the fun book. You're going to be able to actually order them and hold them in your hands. Anyway, back to this. Sorry. Just really excited because for the longest time I was stuck here testing and trying. How can I get this thing published? And this is what it reminded me. This is where this boy is with his talking. He's just projecting to see how people respond. Now, his mom is facilitating. When we look at what she's doing up here, the mindset, her language facilitator mindset. Remember, her child is stuck below the line because that's why she's feeling breakdown, because she's like, it just won't push up. It keeps breaking down. He'll say things, but ultimately we resort back to nonverbal communication to get the true meaning of what he wants. Because remember, this kiddo is very good at nonverbal communication. He's older than 5. Okay. So any child older than 5 years old who has enough speech to be able to sing a whole song and use sentences, say them as intentionally, has the ability to use needs-based language to get up here. But there is a blockage, and it's the blockage. The language facilitator mindset is here. And see this exhaustion? It's so interesting how this is literally the same graphic that I pulled out to identify on my thumbnail today as breakdown, because this is the language facilitator working harder than the late talker. And everybody's working too hard. There's not enough modeling equal give and take. So what's happening is there's still a lot of testing. The language facilitator mom is modeling. This is what's happening. There's this going on, and very detailed. They're watching a video. The bear is pushing. The bear is stopping the train, and he's sad, and this happened, and this happened, and he's sad, and this happened, and he's happy, and this is. And the boy kept scrolling it over and watching it over and watching it over and watching it over. It was a brilliant video, a language facilitation video. This is how I work with my clients. They send me the videos, and I see the interaction. The child is scrolling back to watch the same thing. The mother is repeating the same thing. The child's scrolling the same thing. The mother's repeating the same thing. They're spinning their wheels. They're literally spinning their wheels. She keeps saying, you want to see it again. And then she describes it again. Exactly. Now, why would a late talker who is old enough to understand all that language and know exactly what's going on go back over and over the same thing when there is a facilitator right there explaining everything to them? Why will they make them do it again and again and again? Because they're not giving enough. They're not above the line. They're only giving, this is what's going, and this is what it is, and this is what it is, and this is what it is. The kids already know it. If they already know it, they will prompt you to give them more. That's what the kid's doing. He's like, give me more, give me more, give me more, right? In that one, we look at, I'm going to pull this off. The functional spoken language, he's like, watch me, give me language. And mom's giving the same language and the same language and staying here. He moved up from the nonverbal communication into this, I know what it means. Yes, I agree. But it's not me giving it to you extra. There's no extra. It's just the same. That's why they've gotten to this point. She feels like it's breaking down. It's not breaking down. It's getting better and better and better at staying right here. Because she's not giving more language than the late talker understands. You have to help them elevate to increase their motivation. Why do they want to give you more? When you give them more, this is at least equal. This isn't even enough. This is just, I know you know this. I know you know this. I know you know this. They're like, I know this. Why don't I have any more? What are we learning? How are we evolving? Comfort zone. Kids will either pull you down there when you pressure them, or they'll remind you that they're there when you limit them. Okay, and that's what's going on with this situation. So how you help this move forward always, everybody, is you give more. You have to start telling stories. Instead of just the what is happening, you have to talk about why it's happening. And how you do is you also, when you see a child repeating the same thing over and over and over and over again, you remind yourself that they are needing something else. They're lacking it. They want something. They're seeking it. So what are they seeking? More. They're seeking more, not just more of the same, but more quality, not just more quantity. Don't say the same words over and over again. They need the higher level language. So if you want your late talker to talk about how they feel about it, you have to talk about how you feel about it. Wow, that's exciting. I want to see that again because I got scared when that happened. Or how is your reaction? Not just the bear is pushing the train and the bunny is happy and the bunny. We know this. If they keep asking you over and over again, they know it. And they're pushing you because remember, this is prompting. Prompting. They prompt you because you prompt them, and everybody's just tired of the prompting. When are you going to give me something new to learn, something interesting to learn? Okay. So if you are not, you're not using the workbook yet, here it is. You can get it. The link is in the description. You can get it all over the world right now on Kindle. All over the US, you can get it in print. You can get it in the UK. You can get it in Australia. You can get it all over Europe in English. You can also get it in Spanish. on the Amazon, same workbook, just different title. And in English, it's a different title too, just because of how Amazon works and how we get everything out there. I'm trying to get it published in Hindi. Now that I've got my Indian publisher, it's called Notion Press. So watch out. We're going to get these things in your hands so you can use them to help the late talkers improve in your life. Okay. So here is Lori. Hi, Lori. Nice to see you. I am finding more and more of my 2.9-year-old babbling sound like actual words. Nice. What would be an appropriate response for me? I tend to get excited and ask if I heard a certain word. Oh, wow. All right. Well, let's take a look at the workbook. I'm so glad that you're joining me. All right. So let's see. I'm going to pull it up over here. And by the way, everybody like this video. If I'm helping you, especially if I'm helping you today, this is a good exchange, right? Okay, let's get to this same example again, where we're looking at these are the levels of functional spoken language expression that the late talker is using. So at the stage where you're hearing words that sort of sound like words, but they're not really words, you always have to look at the surrounding environment. Now, if you are like, did he just say something? Did he just say, because it might be a lot bigger and more exciting than you think. Because they're usually, I call these pop-out words, right? So, and Lori says she's starting to use the workbook. Good job, Lori. And so this is where you are. So where you are with those sort of pop-out things that are going, that's here. So what is happening if you're just starting with the workbook? Remember, your job as the language facilitator is at least 4 times every day to create opportunities, language facilitation opportunities, and it's just a activity. Pick an activity, something you already do or something you plan. I usually suggest you start with something you already do. So you can say, I'm going to do language facilitation when I wake up in the morning, right in bed, when I'm first talking to my late talker because we co-sleep, or I'm going to do it when we're getting ready in the morning because we spend a lot of time getting dressed and brushing teeth, or mealtime, or riding in the car, or bath time. You choose 4 times a day in the workbook. And what you're going to do is during those 4 times, you'll already have analyzed what level your child is. And we know from just expression wise, this child's at a level 2 where they have specific nonverbal behaviors and maybe pop-out words. So they could be a number 2 moving into a number 3 because you don't really understand that that's speech yet. It's this kind of moves up and down a lot. There's a lot of circling around between 2 and 3 because kids are testing. They're in the process of evolving from crying and whacking you and dragging you around to actually using words to replace that stuff. So they've got to learn how to say, come here and go there, give me that, and no, don't stop, and all the things that they want to let you know about. And so they're doing a lot of trial and error. They're watching you. They'll do things to see if you respond. Hey, if I drag them over here, are they listening? Oh, when they're listening, I can get more engagement with them. So they'll learn. They develop this way. And your little guy's over here. So trying, what we love is that something's coming out and it's different than it used to be. And that's great. So the first thing you always do is you acknowledge the try. Wow. Not just did I hear some words. I don't care if it sounds like gobbledygook and you don't understand what it is. It's talking. Acknowledge it, call it out, and celebrate it. Well, look at you. You're talking. And then if you don't understand what it is, you use it as a situation. You say, I hear you coming to me to tell me something important. I hear you talking. I hear you. And if you know what they're talking about because they stand here holding their cup and they're like, look at the cup. And you're like, I think you just said cup. Yes. Oh, wow. You're here. Wow. You're here because first of all, you're like, wait a minute. I think I heard something. And then you're like, you're trying to talk. Wow, this is a mom love moment. I am the proudest mom ever. My baby's trying to talk. And he's gonna be like, what? I just wanted a drink, right? I just was trying to use it. But in the moment, you remind them how excited you are. They're like, oh, you like that? You like it when I try that talking? Maybe I'll do it more if I get this kind of reaction instead of like, what did he say? Did he say something? Did you hear him say something? You know what I mean? It's all about your response to it to let him know, well, hey, all right, this is a good idea. Talking is a good idea. In fact, I get a better response when I say mama than when I whack her. Speech is better than talking. And so what they do is they move up into needs-based speech because they learn that speech works better than their behaviors. But like what was happening with Lisa is she was still, talking about the things. So if your child says like this and they're like, and you're like, cup, it's a cup. I see you have a cup. That's not why your child came to talk to you. He didn't come to tell you that this is a cup. He came to tell you to fill it with something. He came to tell you he's thirsty. Why did he bring you the cup? The why is what gets you above the line. That's your language models. When you say what it is, you're only helping them learn what they already know, right? We're talking about expression here. Your kids, you know that they understand. When you tell them to give you the blue cup, they do, right? If they don't know blue, they give you a cup. They know what cup is. You don't need to say, yes, you have your cup. It's your blue cup. Look how you have your blue cup. Oh, they're all like, oh, really? When are you going to fill it with my favorite chocolate milk, which is what I'm here to tell you? Okay? You know what it means. You're trying to teach. You're trying to prompt. You're trying to make them do something in the moment. Try to be a teacher instead of a facilitator. And facilitators get better results because you teach the kids what they want to learn, not what you think you should teach them. That's how language facilitation works. So, Lori, I hope this was helpful for you. That was a great question to see. Let me put this away. It was a great question to see how we do it. So let's look one more time. I'm finding more and more babbling sound like actual words. That means you've been doing a lot of modeling of this is what this is and this is what this is. So the child's coming to say, I want you to fill my cup with chocolate milk, but they don't know how to say that business. But they remembered when you said, it's a cup, you got your cup, right? They remembered. So Lori says, thank you. It's my pleasure. Listen, this is how coaching works, you guys. And, you can join me every single Thursday. Let me put my little video up here. Every single Thursday at 11 a.m. Eastern, you can join me right here, wherever you're watching me, and learn how to answer these questions, figure out how to move forward with the workbook. And, if you turn out that you're struggling, you bought the workbook and you need help, or your child, maybe you have a physical diagnosis that you're trying to work with, or your child's older, things like that, and you want coaching, that's when you go over to wavesofcommunication.com and check it out. You can talk to me before you work with me. It's really the best way, because that's the only way actually that I work with people, because I only work with clients who are ready to take the job on to be the language facilitators. I don't work with the kids. I quit that 6 years ago now because I realized how much more impact I can have as a language facilitation coach, equipping and empowering parents and caregivers to find speech. And then the other thing I just wanted to mention before I go today is I hope that you're all enjoying the interviews that I have going on the channel. While I was going on vacation, I did some interviews with anxiety coaches and OTs who help with IEPs, if you know what all that is and all those letters. And I've got some more coming up. I just did an amazing interview with an anxiety coach, not an anxiety, a relationship coach for parents who are language facilitators and having potential relationship problems. We talked a lot about this breakdown topic. That's another reason that I decided to do this for you. So be on the lookout for that. Sherry Timko is her name. And lots of opportunity. And that means also, if you're watching this and you are either a parent or a professional and you are interested in being on my YouTube channel to share your story about your late talker, to talk about your experience using the workbook, to share, because I think it's going to be really helpful. That's why I do these coaching things. And I even talk about my clients on my YouTube channel, because in my coaching community, I know that's what helps parents. They see other parents that are going through similar situations. Every family's different, but a lot of them, these kids are late talking for similar reasons. That's why these videos are here. And yeah, I hope that if you are interested and you know somebody, or you yourself are a professional or a parent who's interested, send me an email, marci@wavesofcommunication.com. And here's my name and my website, so you can go ahead and do that. And yeah, I just really look forward. And thank you again for all of your support here on the channel, just for showing up and watching these videos, for liking them, for sharing the information. If you just know somebody who's struggling, I just saw a note that said there are wait lists for evaluations that are months and months and months long. And parents don't know what to do in the meantime. They're just being told, we'll see you in October, November, we'll see you next year. We're booking January now. I mean, that kind of thing. So there's lots of resources on the Waves of Communication channel that you can use to equip and empower your child. And you may just see that by the time that evaluation rolls around, you find yourself not needing it. And because the only reason that you would go there for this evaluation was to try to get some help for the problems that you're facing right now. If you're going just because someone told you to go, because someone said there's a diagnosis with your child, then that's not a good reason for you to go. Otherwise, what are you going to learn? How are you going to help your child? That's the whole point of why people watch my channel. And that's why I focus on you as parents and caregivers, grandmas, nannies, daycare providers. All of you are dealing every single day with late talking kids. And if it isn't fun, it isn't fun. And the process can be fun every single day. There's no reason for you to not enjoy every single day with your late talker, no matter where they are in the process, because they are communicating. They are communicating love. They are communicating support, and they want to learn. Teaching them to talk is not like teaching them even to ride a bike. It's easier. It's easier and more functional, and helps them, serves them in a lot of places in their life. So when you make the idea of learning speech your new adventure starting today, no matter if you're watching this video as your 40th, 50th video that you've watched of mine, or if this is your very first one, start again today. We have the opportunity every single day. Because if breakdowns happening in your life, you're feeling the frustration, you're feeling the ins and outs, the ups and downs, the whatevers of it, the waves of communication. That's why we're here. We're here for you. Okay, everybody. Thanks again for joining me. Bye for now.